Welcome, PBA LBC League Bowlers. I'm Neil Stremmel, your Director of Rules and Equipment, and I am here with EJ Tackett. EJ, thank you for coming out. We have a question for you that has come through from a couple of our bowlers, league bowlers out there, and it's about if you have a time where you don't have a good look, you don't match up well, you're struggling a little bit due to the pattern or the environment, and what do you do to kind of work your way through that? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's kind of a loaded question. Every week that we bowl, I feel like no matter how good I'm bowling, you always get in this situation. There's always a time, sometimes it lasts a game, sometimes it's a few shots, sometimes it's a whole block. There's a lot of different ways that you can work through it. Me personally, I'm always trying to pay attention to, what kind of pattern are we bowling on, what the lane surface is, because those are all going to influence the decisions that I make if I get in a pickle. A lot of times, dumbing it down and going back to basics is always a good place to go. Yeah. Like, okay, let's take a step back. Maybe let's pick out a ball that I have a lot of confidence in. It always gives me a good read of what's happening on the lane, so then I have a better idea of which direction do I need to go with bowling balls. Do I need a bigger core, a smaller core, more cover, less cover? Do I need my ball to pick up earlier, get further down the lane? A lot of times for me, that's a venom shock. That's where I fall back to. Like, let me throw the shock. It may not be the right ball, but it's going to definitely tell me what I need to do and which direction I need to go. So that's kind of where I'm going to work through stuff like that, is just get a better understanding of what my ball is doing on the lane, so I know what direction that I need to go ball-wise. And then if I can get in a ball that's close, then it's going to be like, okay, what physically can I do to get this group of bowling balls to do the right thing on the lane?
All right, so that makes sense. Let me maybe say it a different way or a shorter way. So go to your venom shot. Go to your go-to ball, your most comfortable ball, the ball you've had a lot of success with, I know, and go to that, and then see what you see, and then because you know that ball so well, you can make those adjustments off of that. Go to a different ball, go to a different surface, different drilling, and then keep going from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time the ball goes down the lane, the ball's giving you information that you have to receive and dissect and be able to move forward from. So going to that favorite ball in your bag is going to give you the best information, because you've thrown this ball a ton, you know exactly what it does and its tendencies. Yeah. So when you throw it down the lane, it gives you a better indication of where you need to go and bowling balls you need to throw and such like that.
Okay, yeah, because you'd throw it and you'd be like, okay, well, normally I see the ball do this, and I'm seeing it it's coming in too early. Okay, so now I know I need something smoother to push through that, or maybe it's the other way around and you need something to grab earlier, etc. So that gives you that information the best. Or, I don't know, it's a disaster and you're like, I need to be in a completely different zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That makes sense to me. So, great information. Great information for the league bowlers out there. I want to maybe try to go through that. We have a pattern that's been, this was used yesterday. It was put out yesterday. I don't know how much you're going to struggle on it, but let's just talk about that process either way. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, I appreciate it. Let's go do it.
That might not be a bad idea. Just have a fully rock now. And then let's do one more zipping, respectful attitude.
All right, so we're seeing in that part of the lane, which is kind of a place where you would normally want to start.
Yeah.
Not working out, and topography on this lane I know can be a little
Very tricky. Very tricky on this lane.
And also I know this has been beat up a bit. So here we are. What are we gonna do? You gotta deal with it. You want to score. You want to do your best.
Absolutely. So, my ball went very high there. I left the 3-pin, but my ball hooked very early, very close to me, and I'm using a ball that really shouldn't do that. So that just tells me that lane is really beat up right there.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna have to move everything left try to get my ball into some fresher oil so it can get a little bit further down lane before it tries to make its hook.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Let's see how we can do that and figure that out.
Just like that.
You're too good. All right,
Well,
so yeah,
there's no such thing as too good, ever.
all right, you're way better than I am. How's that? And there is a thing such as that. All right, so I saw you moved about 5 with your feet. Is that about right?
It was about 3 or 4.
Okay. And then actually you weren't that much different at the arrows, but the angle was notably different. And just a little bit here caught a lot more oil. Is that,
Yeah, absolutely. So, moving left is getting my ball into oil in the front part of the lane, but you still have to use that angle into where the lane has been beat up, because the ball has to overcome more of that, so it needs to see that friction sooner. So if you just move left, you're basically just throwing it in oil and getting closer to that flat part of the middle of the lane. So you won't have very much miss room left, and you wouldn't have very much miss room right. And it seems counterintuitive, but actually getting it further right earlier helps the ball, what we say, slow down, stop going right, start making its hook, and roll off of that. Most of the time as a professional, we're not looking for, that hockey stick look.
Yeah.
We're looking for the ball to round off and then continue through the pins. That's 99% of the time, that's the kind of ball motion that we're looking for. It's rare, it does happen where we have to get it really far down lane and it's gonna hook dead left, but majority of the time we're looking for that nice round shape.
All right, and then the other thing I'm hearing is as you did that, by not fully moving in, you're gonna have a little more room to miss, some more room for error, and still find the pocket, find success.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about bowling is everyone's good shots are really good, but how good are your bad shots?
Yeah.
Find a place on the lane where your bad shots still get 9, and that's gonna open up doors for you to be way more successful. I think everybody looks at it a little bit different. Well, I look at it differently than most people anyway, but I'm just trying to get that part of the lane where when I do miss, because I'm not perfect, no one is, when I do miss, is my ball getting 9 or 6?
Yeah.
If I can get to the place where my ball's getting 9 when I miss, I feel like I'm gonna be hard to beat.
All right, and then every once in a while, that 9 falls, and you
Absolutely.
you put it in the middle of 2 and 2, and then you got a 5-bagger, and
Just went from 220 to 250.
All right,
just
very
like
good.
that.
Very good. All right, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. That was a good look and a good understanding of how you see it and the way you think. I hope that helps the league bowlers out there. I hope the league bowlers can leach some of that information and learn from that. So go out there, practice, utilize this plan of attack, and continue to support our sport. Thank you very much.